Hey guys, this is Turok, and I'm sorry if my voice is a bit off today. I had surgery on Friday for a deviated septum, and I may sound quite a bit more nasally than usual. Hopefully after this recovery that will all be settled once and for all. But anyways, today I'm looking over, reviewing, chapter 1043 of One Piece, and a couple of thoughts I had on this. And so this is a spoiler kind of video for any who care about that. So what we got here is the at the end of the last chapter, the Cypher Pole Zero agent interfered in Luffy and Kaido's match, preventing Luffy from shooting off his last attack in hopes of beating Kaido because he was running out of stamina. And as I stated before, I was frankly quite surprised at how well Luffy's been handling himself against Kaido. But and from here it's just amazing. He held out this long, but unfortunately, the Gorosei are quite interested in getting rid of Luffy now. They see him as a severe or a serious threat to the world government. I'm starting to wonder how much they really know about with the straw hat and stuff, how much of a threat they think he is comparatively to the likes of Big Mom, Kaido, and other Yonko level threats. Those people who have that sway and power in the world, since they want a Cypher Pole agent to go after him. And that was quite surprising. And that's the thing too. Like over all these decades, we've had all these pirates who are very formidable and set up shop in the New World. And I'm a bit surprised that none of the Gorosei had not sent Cypher Pole assassins after Big Mom or Kaido before. Did they really see them as more of a a more manageable threat compared to the likes of a Joy Boy resurrection / return that we seem to be having here? They certainly are. I guess it must be some credit to that being that way, because once Big Mom and Kaido have decided in a dozen chapters ago to some dozen, not that many, as they decided to make an alliance, it was apparent that everyone was really worried about that. And I wonder if the alliance had gone over more smoothly, if that would have made their combined bounty like some kind of combo wanted poster where they're like 10 billion berry bounty or 5 billion each or something like that, putting it up there with Whitebeard's or Rogers if they increased it more. But the fact that Cypher Pole was never sent after them, and now Luffy though had to be taken out, shows me that either Luffy is a more credible threat than any other character has been since Roger and maybe Rocks, or that they also maybe are seeing the error of the way of not taking out Kaido or Big Mom years ago. I'm wondering if they're like looking at past. It probably would have been different Gorosei in charge at the time, letting these Yonko run rampant and hoping that the Marines would have taken care of it. But that unfortunately they were not able to, given the amount of powers the likes of Kaido and Big Mom have, and even with Garp and Sengoku and others, it wasn't. And that's another thing. What if there was any other head-on fights between, with Garp against someone like Kaido? There must have been some fights there because Kaido got captured. So we got Luffy here, who the Gorosei are quite keen on getting rid of him. This is actually a last-minute decision they seem to have had. As earlier they wanted to get Nico Robin captured because she's important for them to not have. Important to keep her out of the hands of pirates like Luffy and Kaido or Big Mom, because of the knowledge she can provide them that the Gorosei are keen on hiding. But now they saw an opportunity for Luffy to be taken out. I'm surprised they thought it would be now. I guess, but I wonder how well their intelligence was to figure out where Luffy's been. I could think of other places where Luffy would have been captured. You know, he was captured in Big Mom's territory in Totland. He was captured by Kaido earlier. He could have been taken out quite a few times, where I think it would have been far easier technically to do this. So it's interesting they decided now to add to this fight and hope. I guess they were hoping maybe Kaido would finish the job, as it more or less looks like he did here. So trying to keep the reflection off here. So Kaido's look here. He looks like he was supremely upset to have this happen again. I know others went over this, so I won't elaborate too much, but he really looks like he's been trying to seek out a challenge all his life that would really push him to the edge of his stamina and his life. And I wonder why he never sought that before with like not rocks. He probably did try rocks, and he was in his young youth. I'm sure he wasn't what he is now, but he was up and coming. So I'm wondering why he didn't seek that out sooner, or he perhaps he too seemed like, actually, given thinking back about how he wanted to get Whitebeard right before right at the Marineford siege. I'm thinking Kaido here has his own regrets here of not having a challenge against those he knew would give him that kind of challenge in the past, and he's been hoping for one ever since. With like Oden, he also got stolen away from him because of the circumstances, and the others who try to help just make that fight. Because Kaido, for all his faults, and he's got many, he certainly is one of those characters you can respect as an anime character that wants a fair fight, that he doesn't care about dirty, underhanded tactics to interfere in his fights, which we're going to see here too. And I respect that he really wants a good fight with Luffy, despite all his mistreatments of the people of Wano, which makes me want him to get his ass out of there yesterday. But oh, Pinky, my kitty. Come on, who's crying? You? Is that you, Wilder? One of my cats want to review with me. So Kaido, I can respect Kaido because I don't think Big Mom's like that. She seems a bit like she don't care how she wins. She'll want to scare you and use her life force powers on you. And what would Big Blackbeard do? Either way, these characters like Kaido, I can respect them a bit. Katakuri too. He wanted to take out Luffy because of the threat. Luffy was part of the coup attempt against Big Mom, and he's like, you're my enemy, but I respect you in a one-on-one fight, and made it equal at the end. Kaido's a bit like that, and so he's got this. It was taken from him here, so that look on his face was quite almost painful to watch, to realize he's had that stolen from him. And although, given that, I would have thought he would make sure Luffy's really dead, and maybe he would I can't see how let Luffy recover. He doesn't want this to have Luffy fresh where he's not, unless they try to have kept him around for sport, I guess. But I found it a little weird that he didn't really check Luffy was dead, though that may be for the best, given how this whole Luffy is the linchpin of the whole attempt to get Kaido out. So Kaido here, he's quite upset with what happens, and he takes it out on the CP0 agent, which here I'm a little surprised too that the CP0 agent didn't want to escape. He seems to have accepted his fate. Although, well, he's injured too. I was thinking he could escape from Kaido, I would assume at this point, because Kaido too has got to be pretty down in his own stamina and power after all the fights he's been having on this same night. And I mean, this is One Piece, and the age isn't in the same factory that we would see here, but Kaido is nearly 60 years old, and as formidable as he is, I would have thought that CP0, if that was me, I'd try to get the hell out of there. But it looks like he doesn't, and so we see his other pal who's been, I think the one who's been rounding all the messages from Nogoro say, do a little hat tip to him. And then we start switching to the other members of the good guys. I can't think of it. We got the samurai and the others preparing to try and evacuate and get out of there. But that's when they find out that Kaido is still alive. He comes back down and tries to... Excuse me a second. Kaido appears in his dragon form to basically force the surrender of everyone else. And everyone else, finding out that Luffy's been defeated, are becoming quite disheartened. And Marco, fortunately, that's right, we got Marco the Phoenix still here, who's being the cheerleader of the side to keep everyone together and try to force not allow everyone to panic and run away, which, you know, if you ever study any battle tactics or ancient battles and stuff, you know, running and panicking is often, like, it's not good for everyone overall, because that's when more deaths often happen in real life. As far as that though, we do have though the crew of Law and Kid who are not ready to give up. They know they want to defend their captains to the death, and they're ready to fight. And they do start putting up a fight to make sure that their captors aren't captured, because they're in no position to fight anymore. Which I find wonderful that were there all this time, and that they're, you know. Sorry. I'm trying to review this. I read this 2 days ago, and now I'm just getting back to it. So the Kid and Law crew are still enough fighting of them to make sure they're going to keep their captains alive, and hopefully they would escape. I am wondering too if their abilities that worked on Big Mom would have worked on Kaido. Certainly Kaido doesn't have to worry about, doesn't have homies as allies, but he can fly on his own because he's a dragon. So that would be an interesting way if they escaped here, if they would come back. They don't really want to work together though, so it'd be hard for them to, I guess, ever align themselves again unless they're pushed into a corner as we were here. So yep, they're not going to give up. Straw Hat. Law and Kid don't want to give up. They're on their last legs, but they're going to refuse. But then we get Momonosuke, who does want to give up. I'm wondering if he's doing it in hopes of like having the others live, trying to give himself over like his father did to protect others, which is a very noble thing. But I am glad Yamato is here with him to keep him from doing such a thing, to keep him together, because there's no way that Kaido is gonna let this go now. This is a uprising he hoped to never have happen, but now it has, and he is definitely a merciless bastard. So they have to do something. They can't just run away. They'll never have another chance to do this. And I was hoping to see more of a battle between Momonosuke and Kaido, frankly, because the two dragons duking out would be pretty cool, but this is what it is. Yeah, there's my other kitty. So now we reach near the end, and we got, that's right, Zunisha's still here. And right at the end here, we got Zunisha telling, oh, wait a minute, kitty's biting me. Wilder, you a bitey cat? Are you a bitey cat? No? I should try to fix it. Wilder! Which kitties are here? This isn't working. Anyways, Zunisha is, at the end here, Zunisha starts saying something that's rather cryptic in a way, and I'm still trying to figure out exactly what it could mean too, and my own ideas about this. he reveals that Momonosuke. Stop biting, please. Oh, you crazy kid. You can't do that. Say hi to everyone and stop biting me. The bites are liberation. Stop. Come on. That hurt. You scratched me up. So, Zunisha tells Momonosuke it's been 800 years, but he's without doubt sure that Joy Boy has returned. Which is the big thing I'm seeing all of my fellow YouTubers, my senpais, I guess. There, quite a few theories are coming out about this, and I'm somewhere in the middle of how I feel this should go down. I seen I hope the best is Joy Boy somehow gonna possess Luffy in some capacity to take over his body and fight Kaido, and or whether the fruit, because the fruit might be the same one that Joy Boy had in his lifetime, that Zunisha is sensing that somehow and recognizing that through Luffy, Joy Boy is back more in spirit of Luffy's being a will of D, a clan of D member, and attempting to overthrow the government and right wrongs. And I think I would be less impressed if Joy Boy took over Luffy completely, though if he was there somehow to talk with Luffy, I guess, if his spirit is there, though I don't know if that's a thing that One Piece can really do, because as far as we know, the only factors that allow something like that is Brook's fruit, and that's just for the person who's ate that fruit to come back. So I'm doubtful myself that Joy Boy will literally come back through this fruit, unless there's some other power of the devil fruits we're not aware of, like maybe the devil fruit, the spirit of the last user leaves a little bit of an imprint on it. Oh, there's actually something. If the spirit of Joy Boy is more like excuse me a second, stop for sinuses. That actually just gave me a theory. If the users of fruit can leave some part of themselves in the essence of the devil fruit because they've had it for so long, I would be quite alright with that. That was something where I was watching a video by somebody, probably Tekking or so, where they talked about how the users always seem to know the techniques names, and they use like Luffy used Gamu Gamu. I forget some. I can't think of one right now. And that had me thinking, and circling back to here, that maybe some of those technique names that users may have comes more from the last user training with said fruit, allowing for those techniques to be imprinted into it so that the next user can adapt quicker to it. Because you never know if you're going to get a fruit and a person who are paired well enough to make the best of the powers and the person's affinity with it. For example, we got Law with his fruit, and he is perfectly suited to use it because he's been medically trained to the youth, and there's probably no one better in the whole world, well except maybe Chopper and his mentor. You're not going to find someone like Kid or Sanji or Luffy who can use the fruit in the same way because they're not medically trained. Maybe in the least, maybe first aid, but you got these fruits that can, people that know techniques, if the fruit can impart something from the previous owner to the new owner, that could be something where I could see Joy Boy having been the last person perhaps to have Luffy's fruit, imparting how to use it in a memory sense where it's like instructions and not so much his whole soul or spirit is there to take over and help Luffy in a sense that's like a possession, much like Hollow Ichigo. So if Luffy's being possessed in that way, I've seen that done before elsewhere too. I think that was in the Wheel of Time books. I uh, I know, and that was what I first thought of too when they started bringing this back. In the Wheel of Time, the main character is known as the Dragon Reborn, and much like this, there's a person before the main character whose name is Rand. There, the the first dragon was this hero who led the Aes Sedai to defeat the Dark One, and he unfortunately met a less than happy ending, much like it seems Joy Boy may have. And now the Rand, the main character, is like his spirit reincarnated. So that's the thing, reincarnation. We don't know if Luffy's like there's some sort of reincarnation going on here. I don't think there's directly supposed. I don't think Oda's directly going for that. I think the Will of D is his way of doing that without the true reincarnation methods that we would think about. But we'll see. But with Back to Wheel of Time, I'm pretty sure I was reading through one of the later books. I kind of skip ahead sometimes, and I'm fairly sure that at some point Rand has a conflicting part in his head where conflicting with the spirit of his predecessor is there with him and kind of messing around with him, and I don't know if there's any true possession, but I'm back to this. I truly hope that's not really what's happening, because it's not really in line with One Piece. I don't have a problem with the kind of prophecy things that might be kind of connected with this. I do want to see Luffy more like win of his own merit, maybe with a little help, but just having someone else help him in that way. Oh, cat, will you stop? Come on. What are you waving? Those are my notes. Having Luffy have that kind of aid, it just would take away from some of his victory, because this is him proving he can go up against a Yonko, and I want to see him be able to win it on his own, more or less. So imprinted techniques, awakening, help from a memory, leftover instructions that can give him the keys he needs with his power to win is I think the way to go. And that's about it for today.